So I want you to hear from Vienna tonight. She is a wife and a mom, and she cares deeply about her family and thinks highly of this community. And she's taken it upon herself to lead from the front. So, Vienna, teach us about a GoPro skill we need to know, the second half of following up, I believe.
Yes. Yes. Hi, everyone. So, as Mary said, I'm Vienna Childers. I'm from Wentzville, Missouri, and I've been sharing Juice Plus for 13 years. I am a sales coordinator, and this is part two of skill number four because it was a long chapter from GoPro Eric Worre. And so last week we covered concepts one through three, follow up by doing what you said you do. The only reason you have an exposure is to set up for the next exposure. And it takes an average of 4 to 6 exposures for the average person to join. So with this, we're doing concept four, which is condensing the exposures for better results. If you prospect someone once and move on, that is considered, you're considered as a poser. If you're an amateur, you will prospect someone through several exposures, so that's better. But professionals condense those exposures into the shortest time possible. I won't ask you to tell us, but if you have felt that you are a poser or an amateur, or a professional, just think about it and ask yourself as we continue on, make a decision if you want to become an amateur, if you're a poser at this point, and if you're an amateur, would you like to move forward and become a professional? We all know that people are busy and constantly distracted by life. So it's important to keep other people's interest when they are looking at details that you've, approached them with. And the best way to keep their interest is to stack those exposures as close as possible. If you get too slow with exposures of your product with an individual, they get distracted by life. And isn't it so easy for us to do that, right? However, if you give them many different kinds of exposures all in a week's time, you give them the opportunity to really think about how this could change their lives. Can you put in the chat any kinds of exposures that you like to utilize with a prospect? So that could be like a video, it could be one-on-one. So just something for you to think about. You can type in the chat if you like. So the next part is questions and objections. You're always going to come across questions and objections at every step in the recruiting process, and how we respond to their questions or objections is extremely important. If you act defensive, you'll plant a seed of doubt in their minds. But if you act if you act offensive, you'll chase them away. But so we always want to remember that our goal is education and understanding. It's not to win an argument. Our job is to help blind people see. And if you want someone, if or when someone brings up a negative question, or if they offer an objection, all they are really doing is helping to identify one of their blind spots, right? So if they're asking, if they have an objection, it's better to ask more questions of them. It's helpful to know what their blind spots are so that we can assist them in eliminating what those objections. Eric gives some tactics to help overcome objections, which he said the tactics come and go, but concepts are timeless. He said that he found that objections fall into one or two categories. The first is the prospect's limiting belief in their abilities. They aren't sure that they can be successful. And the second is limiting belief in network marketing. I know we've all experienced that. They aren't sure that network marketing will help them achieve their goals in life. We just heard that from Christy. For both categories, one of the best concepts is empathy and how you relate to people. The best way to relate to others is to help them know that you are just like they are. You have some of the same questions, fears, and doubts, but you've overcome those. The stories that we have and um, the stories that we have and that others have that we know of, um, They will do more for overcoming objections than anything else. So, like we talk about all the time, the third party validation. Facts tell, stories sell is something that we've all heard, right? And we can use the tactics of feel, felt, found. So when a prospect offers an objection, you respond with, I know how you feel. I felt that way too. But here's what I found. Modify it based on your own story and the prospect that you're speaking with. The next part was when prospects have a limiting belief in their abilities. Some of the common objections would be, I don't have the money. I don't have the time. It's not my thing. I'm not a salesperson. I don't know anyone. I'm too young. I'm too old. I don't have the experience. When they give you objections, you don't want to respond with anything that will make them seem stupid. So, for instance, if they say that they don't have the money, you don't want to say, do you have a cable bill? Cable's kind of out nowadays, right? A cell phone. Do you ever go out to dinner? You have lots of money. Come on, wake up. Or you don't have the time. How long do you want to have that reality in your life? You have to change if you want your life to change. Obviously, no one's going to like that. They're not going to feel good feelings if you say something like that. So, a better approach is to relate to them by telling your story. And if your story doesn't really match to you know, what what their experience is, you can always grab someone else's story. So for instance, if someone were to tell you that they just don't have the money right now, you could respond with something along the lines of, I had that challenge. I didn't have enough money to pay my bills, let alone start a new business. But when I thought about it, I realized I didn't have enough money to pay my bills now. How was I going to change that in the future? I was tired of being behind and living paycheck to paycheck. That was my story. I wanted more out of life. So, what I did. I found a way, and it has been the best decision I ever made. So then say something to them along the lines of, let me ask you something. If you really felt this was a chance for you to take control of your financial future, do you think that you could find a way to make it happen? 9 out of 10 will agree that they could find a way. Obviously, those don't have to be your exact words, just focus on the concept. You are sharing with them the pain that you had in your life, and it's showing them that you were as they are with some of the same objections. Sorry. As a result, it's a way to relate to them in a bonding experience. You are in the same boat with the same hopes and dreams. If your personal story will not relate, like I said before, to the person that you're speaking with, then use someone else's story that they can relate to. And when you tell the other person's story, you can say, I know what you mean. I have a friend who had that exact same problem. So let me tell you their story. So, can you see how that approach would work with all the objections based on a person's limiting beliefs regarding themselves and their lives? The concept is simple, it's proven, and the results are amazing. And then the next part is when people have limiting beliefs about network marketing, this would include, is this an MLM? Is this one of those things? Is this a pyramid scheme? I'm not interested in MLM. I don't want to bother my friends. And they could even ask you how much you're making. So, have you ever heard any objections like this? Put it in the chat if you've heard it, these kinds of objections. I know that we probably all have at one time or another. The one that seems to really grip people are the first three. Is this an MLM, one of those things, or a pyramid scheme? So don't go crazy on your prospect if they ask one of these questions. Instead, it's important to understand where these questions come from. They usually know of someone who joined, an MLM with no success, or they did it themselves and, maybe it put a bad taste in their mouth. And you can say to them, wait a minute, I think that you have a story. So what happened? What's your story? Where does this objection come from? Were you involved in network marketing at some point? Then what should we do? So we're going to want to wait for them to tell their story. It opens them up and lowers their defenses. Then it allows you to ask them questions of their past experiences. From there, it will give you the opportunity to ask them something along the lines of, um, so I'm sorry, they might say something to the effect of, I joined a company in the past, bought some products, and lost my money. Eric would reply with, do you think that you really gave it a fair shot? If you ask them questions and they are friendly through the process, you have strong opportunity to help them get rid of their blind spot and take a look at what you have to offer. You can relate to them by saying that you have some objection initially and telling them how you overcame it. When they pose objections, we just ask them more questions, and through the process, we can achieve our goal of offering more education to them and understanding for them. If they ask you how much money you are making, your answer could look a little different in, different ways. If you are brand new, you can tell them that you are just getting started. And if you've been around for a while and are making, a lot of money, are not making a lot of money yet, you can tell them you are working on this part as a part-time and you are really excited about your future with this company because things weren't going to change if you didn't do something to change them. You can also tell them of others that you know that are making good money. Like I always like to say to people that, so Wendy Campbell's been doing Juice Plus about the same amount of time that I've been with my company for 33 years now. And she's a multimillionaire and I am not with my company. Um, You can even suggest setting up a phone conversation with those people, this other story of people that you're telling them, and they can feel more comfortable about the opportunity. And all of this takes practice, obviously, but if you get the concepts down, you'll find it becomes easier and easier. You'll also find that you only have a handful of the same objections for the whole amount of your career. So that's what I got.